Top bosses, welcome to our live stream. Today we are discussing about solar. It is all about solar. Very, very important for us to note is that this is a 3-bedroom apartment. In this 3-bedroom, we have a master and suite, and we also have that common bathroom. So these are some of the important features when it comes to this kind of a setup. Not different from what we were discussing last time about wiring materials for a 3-bedroom master and suite apartment. Now you need to understand that there's no much difference when it comes to the solar. The major difference here is the source of power is not the national grid, but it is solar power. Many people, whenever they are asked to give a quotation of solar power, whether a grid tied or off grid, they have a challenge. In case they want to give the customer the battery size, that is number one. And number two, what is the inverter size, which is also very, very important. And also the solar panel size, right? So this is one of the issues that people do have. If it is solar panels, how many solar panels do we require? When it comes to the inverter, what is the size of that inverter? How about the battery? What is also the size of that battery? And another important question is why? Why? So when you are able to answer these questions, the size, as well as the number of panels, and apart from the number of panels, the size of each type, then you are able or you are closer to giving these customer of yours a figure that is almost the exact of what they will spend in order to go solar. Top bosses, welcome to our today's stream. I'm so glad, so excited that you could join us. If you are ready to find this value and to understand as a homeowner or an investor, the amount of money that you will spend when it comes to solar powering your 3-bedroom home, hit that like button. And if you have not subscribed to our channel, subscribe so that you don't miss any of our episodes that are coming up. Now, first things first, we need to ask ourselves, what is the condition of the wiring? In many cases, you find that the building is under construction, has already been constructed, and everything is working properly. If this house has not been powered or supplied with the national grid, it means that we are not sure about the electrical unless it has been done by the way Top Heights electricians does things. After the electrical installations, we ensure that we carry out the tests to ensure that the wiring in that home, in that building, that business is functioning all right, so that when you power it, whether you're using a generator, solar, or even the national grid, everything will be working perfectly. Now, since wiring is done, we'll straight go ahead to ask ourselves, what are the some of the appliances that are in that home? First things first, we will target the heavy consumer areas or the heavy consuming appliances, and I will go straight to the kitchen and ask my client, what are the product appliances or electronic devices that you have in the kitchen? First things first, they normally mention an electric cooker. All right, electric cooker, that's how it's written. And number two, we have the microwave. All right. So all these are heaters, my top bosses. All these are heaters. We also have at number three the electric kettle. All right, electric kettle. At number four, we of course have the fridge. And let me just say fridge stroke freezer at this point, isn't it? And then another item that normally doesn't consume much power as per se, because it's basically a motor, is a blender. So in the kitchen, these are items that we can say and others. All right. Now, the one thing that I will also do is to ask my good client, and probably you are the one. Are you a homeowner, a business person who is looking for a quote for a 3-bedroom? Do not stream. Reach out to us through this number right here, which is +254 or 07 11 34 34 12. Should I write it somewhere here?
Yeah.
So probably I also get a green pen. So I'll have plus, I think I'll have a different pen here. Green pen will definitely come in handy so that I can have the number. You know, when I have the number written in a green color, it definitely guarantees you, my top bosses, that those are greener pastures that we are creating for you, because when you go solar, you go green, and those are greener pastures for you as well as your loved ones. Now, the best thing when it comes to solar power is to always ensure that, thank you so much, my assistant Maggie, the best in the best. So plus 254, right? Plus 254, 7, 11, 34, 34, 12. So this is our WhatsApp number, or for our top bosses, it's simply 0711 34 34 12. Are you ready to go green? We are ready to show you the greener pastures and hold your hands to exact spot that you need to be. Now, top bosses, when it comes to the kitchen, this we can agree that this is one area that draws a lot of power from either your national electricity meter, from your generator, or from your solar power. When you decide to go completely off grid, that means you have solar panels, you have the inverter, you have the battery. It means that number one, you need to consider this. Now, when you go with the electric cooker, what is the capacity? Let's say at full capacity, it is 3 kilowatt. And that is why we ask our customer, what is the rating of your cooker? If the cooker is 3.3 kilowatt, we already know that a 3 kilowatt inverter or system cannot work here, because this electric cooker is drawing excess of 300 watts. So the next thing we'll ask is a microwave. Okay, these are just figures that I'm giving. I'm not so sure. But when it comes to the microwave, assuming that it is a 1 kilowatt, right? And when we go to the fridge as well, or the kettle, we can also give them one. So combined, we will also have 2 kilowatt, isn't it? And then we go to what else? The others, we can give them 1 kilowatt. So having done with the kitchen, we now ask ourselves, what are the other appliances that you have in the home? Probably they have a washing machine, all right? A washing machine. Remember, a washing machine has a motor inside. We know the characteristics of most motors is that they draw a lot of power while starting, but the power that they require to keep them moving or to sustain their operation goes very, very low. What is this type of power that we are referring to here? For those top bosses who understand about motors. Okay, moving on, top bosses, washing machine. So we will probably add another 1 kilowatt. They will also have something that like an iron box, another 1 kilowatt or so. They will have other items such as a TV, which carries, so let's say a TV, and then a sound system. Probably it's a sound bar, or just another Bluetooth system, which don't actually draw a lot of current. With today's technology, you may find that combined they draw around 500 watts. So other appliances, other devices in the house, let's just give them a 1 kilowatt, isn't it? Assuming that all of these items are powered on at the same time, the question is, will the system that you are looking forward to design for this customer be able to power these needs, all right? Or the peak load demand. Peak load demand, let us calculate that. So this one is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is 10 kilowatt. Again, my top boss, you may discover that the customer will not activate all these items at one go. But again, you cannot dictate, all right? We want to guarantee this person that once you turn everything on, you don't need to worry that it will be okay, that the system will fail on you. But again, if the customer is able to comfortably, or the customer is comfortable with buying the system, you can definitely go another level and tell them, instead of buying this fixed power rate, go with 15 kilowatt inverter. What does a 15 kilowatt inverter mean for this system? It means that the system is actually a 15,000 watt system. All right. Now, when we go with a 15,000 watts, it means that we require several number of panels that will power this system. So we can go with 650 watt panels, isn't it? 650 watts panels. How many? The question will be how many? So you will find that for us to answer this question, we also need to factor in the battery. Is it somewhere? Should I erase somewhere, or we can move on? So I think the best thing is to erase here. So we are assuming that this one is a completely off-grid system, so it's a solar power for a 3-bedroom house. And then if I may add something here, I will simply say off-grid. This is off grid. So that is why we are coming up with this number 15 kilowatt. But again, the inverter is not enough. The inverter only allows power to pass through it. Whether we have connected the battery alone as a backup and it's getting power from the national electricity grid or the solar panels or wherever it is getting, but the inverter has to provide power for this system. Now, that being said and done, we now go to the size of the battery. When we come to the battery top bosses, again we ask ourselves, given that there is no power coming from the solar panels, so we've said that we'll have 350 solar panels, and these can be 10 panels to 10 to 15 panels. I think I should have written like this. 10 to 15 panels. The number of panels will also be dictated by the size of the battery. So assuming that the battery here is a 5 kilowatt, it means that once the sunshine is off or out, then this system will automatically switch to this battery. The question is, will this battery be able to sustain this system? So the other question is the customer able to go further and have 2 batteries of this so that he or she can have a 10 kilowatt, not a 10 kilowatt. It is supposed to be what? 5, what is it, Maggie? This is not supposed to be kilowatt. It's supposed to be kVA. Yes, kVA. So this is the size of the battery. Or we can have a 51 volt battery at 200 amp hour, isn't it? And we can have 2 of these. So these are basically lithium batteries. So if we have these systems, the most important thing to ask ourselves is that will it continue to power, especially on cloudy days, as well as during the night? That is the question that we need to have. Now, when we come to calculating the prices, you find that 650 watt, in many cases, you find that people calculate that multiply by 15, multiply by you find that many people sell solar panels per watt. So around 15 shillings for our Kenyan currency. So 650 times 15 times 15, how much is that? 650 times 15, so that we can get 15 panels, each at 650 watts. What is the size of the solar panels, or what will the customer spend in terms of solar panels, so that you can have it somewhere? Sorry?
146
146
to 50.
146 to 50. Thank you so much. So that is Kenyan shillings. So
Mhm.
basically 146,250 in terms of dollars. Divide that by 129. That's how cheap our currency is.
1160.7.
So 11 1160.7. So at $1,160, that is what the customer will be spending in terms of the number of panels for this system. When it comes to the lithium battery, what are they going to spend when it comes to a 5 kilowatt or a 5, not kilowatt, uh, kVA battery, and we need to have that multiplied by 2. So you find that that battery is basically 190,000 Kenyan shillings. Multiplied by 2, we get how much?
380.
380. 380, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you. How about in dollars?
Divide by
129 shillings.
2945.7.
29?
45.7.
45.7. All right. So those are for 2 batteries, isn't it?
Yeah.
So these are dollars, these are Kenyan shillings, and you're going to do the total of that. When it comes to the inverter, which is a 15 kilowatt, you find that that is approximately, let's give it 150 to 180. So let's go with 180,000. Just a minute. That is a 10 kilowatt. A 10 kilowatt, let's give it 150,000 shillings. So 150,000 divided by what? So let me just remove this. So the inverter, you have the inverter here. The inverter is only one at 150,000. And in terms of dollars, how many are those?
150.
Yeah. 50,000 shillings in dollars. How much do we have? So once we know the solar panel, the battery, and the inverter, then we are good to go. Yes?
1162.8.
1162.8. So these are the dollars. So this is the inverter. This is the solar panels. And then this is the battery. Do you have any questions coming along, or any concern, any comment? All right, top bosses, if you are finding value today, if you want to learn more when it comes to sizing a 3-bedroom apartment, hit that like button. And also, if you have not subscribed to our channel, subscribe. We are on our way to making history at 100,000 subscribers. It is becoming even a lot of work to write in all the numbers. Imagine from 0 to 1,000 to now we are writing 74, 510. It's a lot. So we are getting to a point where we just be writing 100K, as opposed to 100,000. This will be too much. So top bosses, be ready to be part of this history that is in the making. I appreciate a majority of you who have been subscribed to our channel for the longest, and also who have followed us across the social media platforms. Now, we are giving estimates when it comes to this pricing. You need to find out from your electrician or your technician, or you need to consult with us for us to give you a budget that is up to date. So this one may not apply after a 2-year period, or even after 6 months from today. So this is basically a rough estimate according to today's economy, according to today's market prices. Like we say, prices can change within a period of 1 week. Also, another important thing is that we need to keep on updating the systems that we install for our customers. Technology may dictate otherwise. That light is reflecting there instead of pointing here. That light. Cool. So how are we doing? My card. Oh, good. So something else. How many are on the chairs? Good. We are doing good. Great. So we move on. Do you have any question? Yeah, good. Thank you. How about the camera? It's okay.
Yeah.
Incredible. We have any questions?
Yes. No,
Mhm.
not a question.
Yeah.
Someone is saying,
Yeah.
good Freedom Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Good day, sir. I'm streaming from Nigeria
Yeah.
and I'm just coming.
Good day, Jacob. Good
No,
day,
yeah.
Jacob. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for streaming. Good day, sir. All right, moving on. We have actually mentioned solar panels. We have also talked about the batteries. These are two batteries, each at 5 kVA. We have also talked about the inverter. Now, why did I start with those? Remember, in a solar power system, especially the off-grid, these will definitely take a bigger chunk of the budget. Apart from that, we also have other important accessories when it comes to this solar power. Now, before we go to accessories, let us just get the total of these. Margaret will be giving us the total. When it comes to the solar panel, we have said that we have 146, 250, and for the two batteries, 380,000, and also for the inverter, we have 150,000. So let us first of all get that total before we can go to the other details such as the accessories as well as the labor, the labor, the amount that will cost you.
676
676,
250.
250.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Now, when it comes to you installing this system, you require accessories. What are some of the accessories that you do require? Now, in many cases, you find that electricians or PV technicians will recommend that this person here or this customer or this homeowner has what we refer to as a charge controller. Majority of the inverters that we have an inbuilt charge controller or a capability to do that, especially the inverters that are compatible with the lithium ion or the lithium iron phosphate batteries. They'll be compatible with that so that there's no point in that installation where you will require to have a charge controller, whether it is an MPPT or the other, which is it a PWM or PMW?
NPPW.
So moving on to the accessories, what we will omit the charge controller because we don't require it. We will have instead something that is referred to as, there's a box that is between the solar panel as well as between the solar panel and the inverter. That is referred to as a combiner box. So a combiner box, in it has very important devices. The reason why I have to focus on it is because it will protect any faults that are coming from the solar panels. It will protect against a surge that strikes on the panels and prevent that from striking the inverter, avoiding any damages to the inverter or to our very precious item, which is the battery. I'm not saying the battery is better than the others, but it is equally worth it. The combiner box, my top boss, will have several items. Let me know in the chats, in the comments, for those who are watching us as a repeat version of this video, because you probably could be watching this in 2050. Hi, 2050. Hello. We were here. We did the most. We accomplished it. Top bosses. Now, when you are talking about the combiner box, there are three most important items in the combiner box. Top bosses, what are these items? Incredible. So let us know about that. And then moving on, top bosses, I want us to also focus on something that is very important, which is cables, cabling from the solar panels here. From the solar panels, we have cables to the charge controller, or let me stop mentioning the charge controller. We have cables from the solar panels all the way to the inverter. These are referred to as PV cables, top bosses. PV cables for this type of connection, for these 15 panels, 10 to 15 panels, we'll connect them in series, all right? Once we connect them in series, we will have the cables. We can have these cables in this size, 6.0 mm. When it comes to the American wire gauge, is this 9 or is it a 10? Is this 9? For 14, I know is 1.5. For 12, it is 2.5. Uh, for 10, it has to be 4. And then for 9 AWG, it has to be 6, but I'm not very sure. All right. Then top bus, another important thing is the DC cables. So now, let me just clear my board. Where do I clear my board? This is very important. I'll have to come back to this. I think I'll clear here. I'll clear these points. So I can write here my director. So we have DC cables. DC cables are very, very important. Now, why are DC cables important? First of all, we need to focus on something that is very important, that is the size. No. First, let me list in terms of importance. Number one, material. What is the material of the DC cable? It has to be copper, my top boss. Number two, what is the size of that cable, right? So for this, which is a 10 kVA battery or 2 or 5 kVA, we can go with 25 mm to 35 mm cables, all right? Very, very important. And another important thing, which is at number 3, is the length. Ensure that the battery is as closer to the inverter as possible. When you increase the length or you have a battery far away from the inverter, it means that that distance will have to be compensated by something. You need to ensure that the size of the cable is so big. And another reason why you need to separate the battery from the inverter, especially having it too far away from each other, there is a problem there. And I don't understand why you will do that. Always ensure that they are very, very close to each other so that you can limit what we refer to as resistance. Why? Because this is pure DC cable, meaning a DC cable in it is carrying direct current. Direct current have a nature of overheating as they flow through a circuit. So the longer the cable, the longer the distance that the DC current has to travel, it means that there will be a lot of issues, including heating or even overheating. First things first, if you go wrong with the material, if you go with the wrong material, you will have a lot of issues, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm. Sasa for hiyo nilikuwa nimesonga hapo kama niko hapo, hii siitumii saa hii, una come closer. Ama itaonyesha light, but at least una come closer. Isikate, si ndio? Top bosses, if you are getting value here, we want to discuss more important aspects, especially that touch on your pocket. If you make a mistake when it comes to the material, if you make a mistake when it comes to the cables, if you make a mistake also on the person that you hire to execute this job, you will have it rough. Majority of the homes lose the solar power as and even lose their homes due to a mistake. This mistake is usually as a result of connection. And that is where now, as electricians, we are supposed to ensure that connections are very, very up to standard. So we need to ensure that the connections that we do are up to standard. So what are some of the connectors that we require for this type of a system? This, my friend, do not underestimate the power that is generated by these lithium batteries right here. So you need to ensure that you lag your cables. You lag your cables. We have a lagging machine here. We have a crimping tool. We also have cable lugs. We have cables that are pure copper. These cables, whenever they are properly lugged, another important thing for the inverter, when they are screwed properly, it means that that circuit as is complete, it will not have any leakages, right? So we will not have any point where we will have some arcs or some sparks or some sound in that system, right? Everything will be working properly. So we need to ensure that we have the right person to execute the job. And when it comes to this one, I'm referring to the technician that you hire for this job. So we have agreed that for the system, we will require 676,250. Here we are assuming an off-grid scenario. Now, it is important for you to understand that this figure will significantly drop when we have a grid in that system, meaning that we have solar panels as well as the national grid. For instance, if you have the national grid, we do not necessarily require two batteries. Did you know that? Because once the grid is there, first things first, in the presence of solar power during the day, that solar energy coming in will ensure that it charges the battery, which is a single battery of 5 kVA, until it is fully charged. The excessive power generated from the solar panels will then be diverted to powering the appliances during the day, isn't it? And then another important thing is that in the night, when power goes low or when we don't have power generated from the solar panels, then that system will switch to the national grid. You have any question? Okay.
No, no.
All right. So we move on. When yeah.
Oh,
Top boss Gideon,
Gideon's,
watching
yes.
from where?
SOT,
SOT.
Technical Training Institute.
Wow, you are
Big
very much.
shout out to Mr. Cheres, the principal.
You saying?
I'm a shout out to Principal. Wow.
Oh, he did
Yeah.
a good job. That is
Yeah.
incredible. Let me have some sip of water as we ponder on this aspect of connecting appliances the right way. That is enough. So top bosses, when it comes to connectors, the ones that you need to connect this system, where do you think people go wrong? Is it the connectors or is it the fact that people actually do a shoddy job connecting that system? Kama record iko clear?
Mm. Kunyonya hata naonea hivi.
Hmm?
Lazima naona giza kwa hii.
Hii.
Natumia hii.
Unaongeza light. Light iko down.
Sawa.
Alright. When it comes to the connections, top bosses, do you think it is the electricians who do a bad job, or is it that there is always a defect, uh, and it's a defect or a manufacturing issue when it comes to the inverter? For most of the solar power systems that I've come across which have failed, you find that the problem started at the termination at the inverter. It's not that it was wrongly terminated, because initially it was working properly, but you find out that the issue actually started when these screws were not tightly done. So we need to ensure that we tighten up the screws. We need to ensure that the cables are tightly done. That will definitely help in terms of ensuring that current flows effectively in that system. So when it comes to a three-bedroom system, let us go to this final calculation here. So if you are calculating and it is actually an on-grid system where you have a 5 kilo kVA battery. So these are 5 kVA battery. Let me just write battery in full. And then we have 10 solar panels, and then we also have 10 kilowatt inverter. So these solar panels are actually each are 650 watts. You need to ensure that you match the wattage of each solar panel. Don't be confused to buy others 450 and then someone tells you you wanted 10 of these, and now what we have 8. We can also add you 4 or 450. My friend, you may come to the site and have issues, because once you try to mix up these panels, you will have issues. All right, so don't make that mistake. And in a very few minutes, we will dive into the common mistakes that people commit when it comes to solar panel for homes or for business. All right, so 10 kilowatt inverter is what we require, and we have agreed that for this system you might spend this amount, but if at all it is actually an agreed system, or let me say it, an on-grid system, you'll find that it is actually 450,000. Margaret will tell us what is 450,000, which is Kenyan shillings into dollars.
50,000.
Kenya is such a great country, and that is why we keep on referring to these figures. So, yeah, in terms of dollars, yes. So, top bosses, yes.
Kidogo tu.
All right. So as Margaret is giving us that, we need to understand that this system will work perfectly for an on-grid system. Where, what does an on-grid system mean? It means that we actually have the national grid, right? We have the Kenya Power for those top bosses who are in Kenya. Yeah?
3,488.
3,488. Yeah.
0.4.
0.4.
Yeah.
So these are the dollars that you will actually use. So in many cases, you find that when we are giving this quotation, for you to have the labor on it, depending on the location, depending on where are you mounting the solar panels. So the technician will in many cases ask you, where are you mounting the solar panels? Another important thing, where is this site located? You know, so all of these will dictate the cost of labor, right? So the cost of labor. So in many cases, you find that we give it a range. If for a 3-bedroom house, we are talking about 450,000, and we give it a stretch to around 550,000 Kenyan shillings, isn't it? So this is what you require for a home, which is a 3-bedroom house. Thank you so much, my top bosses, for watching that first part of this stream. We are going to the second part, which is definitely to discuss about the common mistakes that people commit when it comes to solar power. When it comes to solar power wiring, especially for a 3-bedroom house, what are some of the faults, the errors? Is it from the electrician side? Is it from the customer? Majority of the people, whenever I post this question, they will always shift the blame to the customer, because they say that the customer prefers cheap items. But my question to you is, did you advise the customer accordingly on the materials that they are supposed to be having? Top bosses, in the second part of the question, hit that like button and also subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. So let us go. Unless we have any question or comment.
Nope. Just a comment from Abdi. He's saying from Somalia. Then Kenya 254 is saying top G.
Top G. Also, he's saying that I'm the G.
Yeah, yeah.
Top G. I'm the G. Thank you. Thank you so much. Our top bosses Somalia is tuned. Who else is in the building, and where are you watching us from? I would be very grateful if you comment where you are watching from. Top bosses will be super honored and super glad to always have your company and also have you mention your country. Do you have a top boss from Rift Valley, part of Kenya?
Not yet.
Okay, incredible. So we talked about sizing, we talked about the material list, we talked about the solar panels. So when it comes to sizing, we've talked about 6 kilowatt, we have talked about 10 kilowatt, isn't it? But most importantly, we have focused on uh, the appliances that the client will have or will need to supply with the power they require. Material list, we of course mentioned the number of batteries, the number of panels that they require. And when it comes to cost, we have also given the estimates. Another important thing is that we have also mentioned that if they want to reach us out, Maggie, how should they reach us out in case they want solar power or solar consultation?
They should use our number.
Say it louder so that they can actually get that.
+254 7 11 34 34 12.
Thank you. Thank you. That is our top
Yes.
assistant here at Top Heights Electricals. I told you guys when we were starting that you really need to work harder and things will be even better for you. So I don't know if you are working on yourself. We have been saying that electricians are supposed to be creating content and also working harder to ensure that they incorporate AI and other tools in their business so that they can become better at their work. So let me just have the number here. Maggie, you said it is 254.
+254
Yeah.
711 34 34 12.
412. Thank you. Or we can even have it as 0711 34 34 12 for top bosses who want to reach us out, whether it is in terms of consultation, regardless of where you are in the planet, whether you want us to visit your uh, for us here at the moment, we are able to physically visit Kenya. If you want to us to visit your house, your investment, your home, we can go there. We can give you the estimates on what you want. We can even consult with you in terms of, do you want the off grid? Do you want the on grid? What system serves you best? How can you go about that? We also connect you with a financing system whereby you are able to own this solar system and pay it at your own pace. You don't have to, lose an arm and a leg for you to own solar power. And that is why Top Heights Electricals and Solar is the best partner when it comes to solar power. Moving on, my top bosses, I'm excited to introduce you to part 2 of our live stream. Welcome, my top bosses. If you're just joining us, hit that like button. And if you are meeting me for the first time, also subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of the episodes that we post or the live streams that we normally have every week, my top bosses. Now moving on. This is an important aspect when it comes to solar. Mistakes. Mistakes committed is committed written like that in solar installation like that. All right, depends when I come through. Well, I was missing something. Top bosses, when it comes to the mistakes that many people commit, I'll first of all link that to number one. Do I throw blame games here? Let me not do that, but let me categorize into two. First of all, I will throw the blame on the owner, and then I will also blame someone here. I will blame two more, but to start with, I will blame the homeowner. The first mistake that people usually commit when it comes to solar power is committed by homeowners, in the sense that they want cheap materials. Cheap is expensive in the long run. So when it comes to the material that you require for solar and you go cheaper, always be ready to carry the cross when it comes to you going through a lot in terms of compensating for what you avoided in the first place. Top bosses, a homeowner will decide to do this instead of going for genuine batteries. They will be convinced. They'll be convinced to go for second hand or just another name for the batteries without necessarily going for the specific brand, right? So brand matters when it comes to solar power. There are several brands that will always fail customers no matter what. And one thing that you need to check that I also learned from a friend of mine is what is the warranty term, or what are the warranty terms when it comes to these items, be it the battery, be it the solar panels. So do you have a genuine battery? Top boss, is the battery genuine? You as a homeowner, do you know how to identify a battery which is genuine? That is why we are always advising that you need to engage the electrician, the PV technician, who understands which is the right battery for you. Now, did you know that there are also other companies which will sell you PV, or let me just go with let me use a layman's language, which is solar panels. Did you know that there are some people who will sell solar panels which have a sticker upon a sticker? If this sticker is written 450 watts, probably the correct sticker is actually rated 300 watts. This will be very problematic in case the solar panel is actually rated 12 volts and on the sticker it is indicated 24 volts. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Assuming that an open circuit voltage VOC for these 300 watts is actually around 36 volts, and for a 24, I mean for a 440 is actually 48, yeah, volts in terms of VOC. It means that the person that is purchasing this will connect it to a system that requires 48 volts. Now there will be a problem. Why? Because you will find that this system will always have issues. It will always clash with other panels and therefore raising temperatures. This temperature will definitely affect on something that is very important when it comes to solar panels, which is definitely the efficiency. So you find that your solar panels are no longer charging. If your solar panels are not charging the battery, if they are not producing the reliable, the efficient power that is required to power your appliances, just know that you have been cooked, you have wasted your money. Top bosses, before we move on, do you think the other issue that people normally have when it comes to the sizing of the solar is definitely committed by an electrician? So at number 2, do you think we should shift the blame to the electrician, top boss? Kuna gap kubwa huko, kuna gap kubwa huko kwa Elon Musk.
Ipikwa
Hmm?
ni
Hmm? Sidhani kiko na shida. Hiyo gap ndio inafaa reduce. So camera focus huko juu huko.
kama
Elon Musk anaonekana
au utaonekana
hapo. Sasa hapa I'm supposed to be full in there. Yes, so top bosses, we are discussing another person that is actually problematic when it comes to this system. And that person is definitely the electrician. In fact, let me not say the electrician because I'll be throwing stones at the wrong person. I will just write here PV technician. A PV technician. So a PV technician will definitely give the wrong size of this system. If the technician is not able to first of all ask the most important question, first, what is the size of the load? Size of, thank you, size of the load. What is the size of the load in that home? These are very fundamental questions when it comes to solar sizing. Without you knowing, without you understanding the exact size of the load, there is definitely going to be an issue. In our previous or the first part of this stream, we were discussing about the size of the load, and we said you need to start with the most important area of that home, which is in this case a 3-bedroom home. We need to start with the kitchen. The kitchen has appliances that draw a lot of power from the system. If you go wrong in the kitchen in terms of calculation of the load, how will you go right when it comes to calculation of the load size, especially in the bedroom? Okay, this pen is really acting up, but we survive. So if you know in the kitchen, so you know that in the kitchen there are heaters, and you don't want to really focus on this area, it means that that system which you install or recommend for the customer is likely to fail on them. So we need to understand that this area in the kitchen, what is the total power consumption? For us, what we normally do, we usually go with a clamp meter. Ask the customer to switch on each and every appliance in the home, especially in the kitchen. At that time, we'll have a clamp meter. How does a clamp meter look like? Let me show you how a clamp meter looks like, so that you top bosses can actually know that this is what we are talking about. Whenever we visit our customer, we ask them to activate everything in the kitchen, and if they are connected to the grid, we will simply use this, and then we'll go and clip right there, so assuming that this one is the cable that is carrying power, we'll clip it there, and then we will activate our meter here. So you get to the readings and then ensure that it is at AC. You see, at this point it is at 0. So we will record the consumption. You find that if it shoots to around 5, so if it indicates 5 here, we need to convert that into watts. So if it is 5, it is definitely 5 amps. The voltage that comes to our domestic homes is usually 330 volts, or we can even measure. Also, it has probes. We can record the incoming voltage. So we'll measure that. So for us to get power, we definitely calculate IV. Power is equals to IV, isn't it, Maggie?
Yes.
So that means that the power here will be 5 times 230. What is that? Top boss Maggie. 5 times 230. Assuming that that is actually the voltage that is coming in. The only answer I know there is 0. Next. Probably what? I know 15 somewhere. Kariwad. And then the other one is Margaret.
Yes.
Actually, Maggie, you seem to have installed the calculator, uninstalled the calculator from your phone.
1150.
1150, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 1150. So you find that 5 amps, 1150. So this is, we can say, for that time that we have visited our customer, we say that per hour, this is the power consumption, which is basically 1.15 kilowatt. So this is just an example. So we will ask ourselves at peak, what does this customer consume? So we'll have to activate everything. So we will assume that this customer at peak may use close to 1.5. Sema nisiende beyond hapo. So if it is a 1.5 kilowatt, we will recommend a 2.2 kilowatt system. All right. And then if, let's say, the customer looks forward to have more appliances or have more home needs, we will definitely recommend that they go for an inverter which is bigger, which can actually be scaled. So they will probably go for a 3.3 kilowatt inverter. In future, you find that this customer wants to upgrade even further. This system will not be discarded. This system can be reused in another project. It can be purely dedicated to something else, such as the security lights. They have a project probably in the farm, such as water pumping, chaff cutting. They can dedicate it if they want to upgrade. So instead of just doing away with this system in its totality, they will dedicate it to something else and then have another system that is purely dedicated for that home. Now, that aside, we go to another person that I can blame, and I intentionally put this person as the last one, which is the manufacturer of these items. I still have another list of people to blame, but let me stick with the three because those are the ones that I can handle and I understand. So the manufacturer. Why am I blaming the manufacturer? Manufacturer. Manufacturer. Is it written like that? Manufacturer.
No.
This is supposed to be E.
After F is A.
Oh, damn. And then
U.
like that? Thank you. So the manufacturer is to blame if at all they write that this battery is actually a 5 kVA and yet it is a 4.8 kVA. These cases are not common. These cases are not common. Another thing is that you find that there will be manufacturer defects if the battery explodes, assuming that the installation has been properly done, assuming that there is enough ventilation, especially for inverters, assuming that the connections have been correctly done, all right, and then the battery explodes, it means that there is a manufacturing issue. Another important thing that we need to also take note is that in case upon tightening the screws, now this is where majority of the solar power has issues. Upon tightening the screws, they get to a point where they start sliding. You try to tighten and then it starts to slide and the electrician is confused. What do I do now? It is actually sliding. So that is a heavy mistake, a huge mistake, especially from the manufacturer side. I will not dwell on this much, but moving on, for a technician, you're supposed to always ensure that you carry out maintenance for your customer in case that system has an issue. You are supposed to identify it very fast and correct it. For homeowners, we have said that you have to stick with brands that are quality. So focus on this number here, our director. We need to also read again this number for our top bosses. What is the number right there? Then it's like 6 minutes.
The number.
So our number is, if people want to reach us out, so many people want us to offer them services. Anywhere in the country, we are readily available to assist you. So what is our number?
Our number is 0711 34 34 12. Or plus 254 711 34 34 12.
Incredible. Thank you so much. So for us, we ensure that we do quality work, and especially at the point of sizing. So sizing the system basically will help us to come up with a system that will serve you as the customer very, very well. Remember, when it comes to a system that requires 5 kW, or this is basically 5 kilowatt, or your system is basically 5,000 watts, we will ensure that we work with you step by step, so that for this particular system here, we will recommend the correct size of solar panels. We'll also recommend the right size of battery, and upon buying or the accessories that you require, once that system is set, you will not have an issue. Did you know that solar panels are supposed to last between 25 to 30 years? Right? That is almost the lifespan of majority of some people, you know. And when it comes to the battery, it is between 10 to 15 years, or even more if the battery is well maintained. When it comes to the inverter can even go up to 18 to 20 years if it is not overloaded, well maintained, and most importantly, it is actually in a place where there is sufficient ventilation. Because for the inverters, we also have fans, we have a motherboard or systems inside that can overheat. In many cases, you find that people will ruin their solar power system if the inverter is damaged. Do not have an inverter where there is exposure to extreme moisture. Wow, exposure to moisture. So it means that if there is any leakages, rain leaks to that inverter, it means that you are risking losing that inverter. Any water droplets to the motherboard will damage it completely, all right, requiring you to replace the entire motherboard. And this is another mistake that people don't are not aware about. When that motherboard is ruined, in many cases you'll find that you will not get that spare, especially if that inverter or that company phased out that product, or it is out of you know, what do you say, it is not stock, it is the company is no longer manufacturing or producing that specific inverter, meaning that they're also not producing the parts. So it means that you'll have to replace the entire inverter. The issue is, if that battery is not compatible with the inverter, you'll be forced to replace both the battery and the inverter. So you must be very, very careful when it comes to the products that you buy. All right, top bosses, if you're finding value, hit that like button. Let me also know in the comment section, have you ever installed solar power? Whether you are an electrician, whether you are a DIYer, have you ever installed any type of solar in your home, in your business, in your car, in, you know, you probably have some off-grid home somewhere. Have you ever installed that? Another important thing, if you are a homeowner, what system do you have right now? Are you also thinking about going solar? Did you know that at Topites Electricals and Solar, we help clients such as you who are looking forward to go solar or are looking for a solar power system for their homes? And we work with you step by step to ensure that you achieve or you accomplish your goal. Just let us know where you want us to help you, and we'll definitely do that. Our WhatsApp number is +2547 11 34 34 12, and we'll definitely help you through. Do you have any question, comments?
Nope, nope. Just Kabanda.
Yeah.
Say, so nice. Thanks, East African best teacher.
Wow, wow. Who knew that one day I'll be referred to as an entire continent's region teacher? East African is too big for me. The shoes, I don't know whether they will fit me. Yeah. They sound to be so big. But thank you so much, Top Boss, for that.
Yeah. Kenwa Embu. Saying Top Boss from Embu.
That is Kenwa Embu. Kenwa Embu, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for streaming. When you support your fellow countryman, I really do appreciate and I'm so grateful. Before we end the stream, let us just recap the contents that we've been talking about from the start. We were talking about the installation for solar power for a 3-bedroom house. We have said that you can go for a 6 kilowatt or you can stretch yourself to a 10 kilowatt system with one battery for a grid connected system or a hybrid inverter with 2 batteries, which are 5 kVA. And for this system, it means that 10 kilowatt inverter and 2 batteries, each 5 kVA. This is enough for an off-grid setting. This will comfortably power your home appliances, including even the pump that you have. Another important thing is that the solar panels, the number of solar panels, we have said between 10 to 15 pieces, each 650 watts. This system is scalable. What do we mean by scalable? You can add solar panels when the demand shoots up. Very, very important. All right. And also on the part 2 of our live stream today, we have discussed about the common mistakes that people commit when it comes to solar power. We have said that majority of the mistakes comes from the homeowner when they are about to cut costs or use shortcuts in their quest to own solar power. So when they decide to cut costs, you find that majority of the solar sellers, solar products vendors will always take advantage of them, sell products that are actually substandard or have been used elsewhere and they are being sold here as new and they fail on these customers. Ensure that you partner with a genuine brand that you trust, a genuine company in the solar space that you trust. I will not insist that you do much research because it is common sense that you are supposed to do that. But if you find a company that you trust, you can always work with them when it comes to that. Also, another important thing we have mentioned, the PV technicians or the electricians, basically. Not everyone is supposed to do this kind of work. And if you are a technician, a PV technician or a photovoltaic technician, or in short, you are a solar technician, ensure that you also take good care of your customer. We have gotten a lot of referrals from the customers that we have served, and we continue to appreciate the more jobs that we get from the customers that we have continued to serve because of the good work that we have done or the kind of work that you have done for them. Let your work speak for itself. Let your customers refer you because of the good work that you have done. At number 3, we have placed the blames on the manufacturer because they will produce substandard products and this will fail on the customers, and in many cases you'll find that it will either burn the customer or burn their finances, which is completely unfair. In the next video, my top bosses will be going deeper, talking about the solar power that is required for a 4 and 5 bedroom master and suite. We'll also be giving you more information when it comes to the nature of the loads that are connected to these systems. For systems that require heated swimming pools, more heat outside there, more space that is created, automation, automated gates, other security systems that are sophisticated. What is the size of the solar power that is required for this system? How can we separate this power so that if one section of this home fails, the other parts continue to function very well without any issue, and ensuring that the home is not in total darkness if at all one part of this system fails. Top bosses, thank you so much for watching our today's stream. On behalf of the incredible team that is behind the scene, I really do appreciate you. If you have not subscribed to our channel, subscribe so that you be part of the 100,000 subscribers that are soon coming up. For those who have subscribed, I thank you so much for that. And my top bosses, until the next time that we have another stream, goodbye for now.